Hello, everyone. Welcome to a, well, I don't know, a very, very late live stream. It's late for me. I know it's very early for you guys and gals. Welcome to this live stream. I did have a couple of pictures for the thumbnail, a couple of strange, naughty pictures, but of course, I chose a very normal picture. Okay, so welcome. Welcome. I know you can't see me right now, but of course, Okay, I know you can't see me right now, but it's fine. It's fine because look what I have over here. That's right, Starbucks. And they misspelled my name. I can't show it to you close because it is leaking water, so I don't want to show it so close. But they misspelled my name. This is my first ever Starbucks, by the way. Um, So it's basically what do you call it? Frap. Some I don't know what you call it. Some frap, but there's no coffee. There was just a couple of large ice cubes. They said something was wrong with the machine or whatever. They couldn't make the proper version of this. But anyways, I was able to get a chocolate flavored version. It had cream all over it instead of coffee. I don't like coffee. I do not like coffee. Okay, I never had coffee, so I don't like it. I've had coffee flavored things, but I don't like regular coffee. This is good. This is good. Now in South Africa, Starbucks isn't super popular. That's what I've heard. But when okay, why did I go Starbucks today? Well, I didn't just go Starbucks. I went to the theaters. Yes, I went to the theaters. Why? Well, it was my cousin's birthday, so obviously, this was a very special occasion. She turned 19, so of course, we went out to the theaters and then we had some lunch, and then we bought this, and then we went home. Basically, my siblings were also there. We watched Enchanto. Yes, Enchanto. You know that Disney movie? Yeah, we watched it. Now, when we went on the theaters, in the theater room, there was like, well, I only saw one person. That's it. It was not that busy because if you watched it on a weekend, obviously it'll be very busy because children are out and everything like that, especially for a kids cartoon. So obviously it could have been packed with children, but no, it's a regular school day. Sucks to be a kid, am I right? But anyways, it's good to be an adult, I guess, for stuff like this because hey, no annoying kids. Last time I watched a kids movie on the theaters, it was with Sing. You know the movie Sing? I watched it and oh my goodness. The problem with that was there was so much of kids crying. The parents of the children were very annoying. But that was for Sing. That was a couple years ago. Then now when it comes to Enchanto, wow, what a lovely movie. A lovely movie, colorful, bright. The songs are amazing. I never thought Disney could pull off more songs, but they did. They did. You know, I consider my company one day a competitor of Disney, so I can't really give them too much credit for this movie though, because you gotta be competing with them someday, you know. But I really love this movie. It was great. The characters, the animation was good. I loved it. You know, I loved it. Uh, I loved it. But anyways, enough about that. I had popcorn in the theaters, and I also had slush puppy. I don't think many of you know what that is. It's basically syrup and ice. Yeah, that's it. It's so good. But then I drank two. I never finished the second one, so yeah, it was just too much to have, you know. Then we ate. I forgot the restaurant we ate at, but by the time we got to the restaurant, I was so full of popcorn and slush puppy that I did not want to eat so much. I ordered chicken wings with mushrooms on the side, and I also ordered milkshake. The milkshake was called Death by Chocolate. Now I know a very fancy name, but this was seriously sweet. So sweet. This was so sweet. I'm not even joking. This was so sweet. The Death by Chocolate was the sweetest I've ever had. Basically, it came in a jug, a glass jug. Normally, milkshakes come in those long milkshake uh, glasses, but no, this one came in a jug. And obviously, it had a lot of cream, chocolate was drizzled all over, even on the wooden board that they gave it to. With sorry, they served it with a wooden board, and on that wooden board was also a lot of drizzled chocolates and caramel and stuff like that. Uh, on the sides of the cream was an Oreo and some kind of giant eclair, I think. Yeah, basically that was it. And plus, the milkshake itself was so sweet. On top of the cream was also giant jelly beans. I'm not talking about these jelly beans. I'm talking about like this big jelly beans. It was very big. It also came with a spoon to eat some of the stuff off, which was amazing. Now, unfortunately, I never got it. I never got it for takeaway because obviously, uh, I couldn't eat that much. But I got the rest of my food. I ordered chicken wings. I got that with me at home. I brought it at home. I don't think I could have brought the milkshake at home, but still, that was an amazing sweet milkshake. Now we come to this. This was bought last minute, and of course, I have to say it tastes pretty good. This is my first Starbucks product, Starbucks product, and you know what? It's good. Now I'm not a fan of Starbucks. I've always mocked Starbucks. Trust me, I think we all have. I think many of you watching this have always mocked Starbucks, but this is pretty good. I don't drink coffee. I hate coffee, so to have an option where there's no coffee, just cream, that's amazing. Now the cream was right up here, but of course, time moved, and of course, it went down. But still, it's still good. There was a lot of ice, but it melted, and yeah, that's it. So good. And we went in Starbucks. It was barely full. There were like I guess different parts of Starbucks. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know. Because I saw different types of Starbucks. A smaller one and a larger one. Anyways, that was my journey out. It was an amazing journey. Would like to go there sometime again. Now, we was gonna watch the Batman movie, but I don't know. It's 3 hours long. Okay, 3 hours. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of Batman. That's a lot of Twilight. Okay, that's a lot of Batman. Okay, so yeah, maybe some other time. But seriously though, uh, if I go any other time, I would like to just go for Jurassic World because I've been waiting to see Jurassic World 3 since 2018 because I knew for a fact there's going to be a finale to the series, and obviously it's supposed to come out like last year actually. But no, since of the COVID stuff, things were really delayed. But of course, we'll watch it this year. I'll try to watch it. I'll try my best. Because I want it to be a good experience. I don't think I'll ever watch it in 4D. 4D is basically like 3D. No, no. Okay, I don't remember the full thing on what 4D is. I guess 4D is. I guess 4D is maybe with 3D, and also like the seats move. If it's raining, they'll drop raindrops on you. That's amazing. But I don't know. I don't want that. It might make me too nauseous. I want to just sit back and relax and eat popcorn. Okay. Okay. Since we are, let's read some articles from our favorite news sites, bounding into comics. Alright. Okay. Let me just trim this down. There we go. There we go. Bing. Oh, that's very big. I'm sorry if it's very dark. I can put the light on because it's very late. But it's since it's like still autumn, it's transitioning from summer to autumn. You're still gonna get some kind of summer weather. Like normally in summer, the days are long and the nights are short. In other words, dark clouds, dark skies are very much late, and obviously they are. What's the term? I guess. Uh, Basically they arrive very late and end very quickly. Okay, here we have the news. Mel Gibson spilled the beans on his latest film. Mel Gibson, I I love Mel Gibson. It was on the movie Science, which was one of my favorite movies I watched as a child. So that's a good movie. We have menacing unused Godzilla design meant for Final Wars resurfaces with new images. I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan. I watched Kong versus Godzilla last year in theaters, and that was such a good thing. Watching it in 3D was so cool. Okay, I felt very happy to watch it. Marvel writer Jason Aaron issues apology, donates pay after being accused of racism over new King Conan character. So basically, this guy is a Marvel writer, and he has a problem with working with major comic book brands. There's no creativity. There's no creativity. There's only apologies. There's only apologies. I'm gonna say it as it is. You cannot, and I'll repeat it. You cannot summer weather. You cannot go into these major industries now and start writing whatever you want. There is no creative freedom. No matter how many times people will make you think there is no creative freedom. There is no creative freedom in these places. Also, sorry about my voice. I'm sorry I never warm it up. But there is no creative freedom. This is coming from someone who basically never ever worked for a company, but I used to watch and see so many creators complain about this. Long ago, last century, there was a thing called the comics book code. It was a code that censored so much of work. So much of comic book creators could not make the work they wanted to because obviously it offended people. Okay? Yeah. And what's happening now is not the same comics book code, but obviously the same attitude towards comics. Oh, it's offensive, you gotta censor it. There's no room for fun, there's no room for creativity. Marvel writer Jason Aaron has issued an apology after his new King Conan character series sparked widespread outrage and accusations of racism over what some perceived as an appropriation of Native American culture. Are you okay? So basically, we have this hot woman. She looks like a Native American. So okay, introduced an artist Mohammed Azuri in February 16th, King Conan Volume 2, Number 3. Okay. Basically, this character. Look at that. That's very sexy. Okay, that's very sexy, very beautiful. Can you even draw a woman like that in Marvel anymore? So basically, okay. Though the entirety of Aaron's story depicts fictional characters and locales, the Avengers writer came under fire on social media after some readers took offense to both the princess sharing a name of a real-world Pocahontas with the real-world Pocahontas, who in a later life privately by the name of Okay, so basically they got offended. Like, can Marvel writers even do this or artists even do this? Because look at this, you're showing some ass. And Marvel and DC these days, they're very offended. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Disgusted isn't even close to for a word for it. Okay, so Twitter crybaby got offended. And okay. Look at this. This is the problem with the woke people. This is the problem with the woke people. They immediately tag the company and say, "Oh, this is offensive." How? The sexualization. Okay. But this character is just a fictional character. This never mind. Never mind. I am truly aghast. Then okay, she got offended with a couple of images, and then she says he's a shit writer. He's a shit writer. Jason is a shit writer because I don't know, offended her. Okay. Now I don't read Marvel. I don't read DC comics, but honestly, like, just remember, if you're working for this industry, you can't do this. You have to make the woman look like square boxes basically, and you can't even have a story about any type of native or whatever. And if you don't have a story about a native, they call you istophobe. It's like you can never win with these people. Unfortunately, you can't win with it. I know for a fact you can't win with these people. Wow, this is so good, very good. But you just can't win with these people. I don't see in this way of apologizing for people who don't give a shit about your stuff. Like, I'm surprised people still read the comics, and it's just some woke people. Simple as that. It's crazy. I feel bad for this writer and the artist because it's like, hey, this has nothing to do with racism or whatever, but you're gonna make it up. You can't apologize to the woke skulls enough. Just tell them if they don't like it, they don't have to buy it. Didn't the grandma writer with red hair and glasses tell us that? Exactly. There was this SJW who had the red hair. I forgot her name. I think it was Kelly Sue. Basically, what happened was, that you said if you don't like my comic books, don't buy it. You can't tell the same thing to these SJWs though, because one, you know for a fact you don't like saying mean things. Two, it still won't work even if you tell them that. Okay, so is multiculturalism about embracing other cultures or not? I don't get it. I don't get why they get angry about this. There's plenty of things to get angry for, but not one of them, okay? I feel bad for people who work in the industry now because they can't be creative. It's just like the last century where people were censored, but this time it's not coming from the government. It's coming from people just randomly on Twitter. That's it. Like maybe one or two people, and that's it. We then have Ian McKellen rejects idea actors must share exact qualities as their characters. We're acting, we're pretending. You shall not pass. I love him as Gandalf. Wow, wow, wow. You know when Gandalf said, "You shall not pass," that felt so strong and heavy. That was some good acting. Though the idea that an actor must share the exact physical and mental qualities as the character they portray has been growing ever more popular across Western entertainment industry, unless if they're white, then you can't get an exact character to play them. For example, uh, there were a lot of race swap characters. And what? A lot of people who support the idea of the exact same people playing the roles for the characters don't want white people to play their own roles. They'd rather have them race swapped. So there is a big issue going on in the industry, but Ian McKellen basically, basically destroyed this stuff, destroyed this idea. Okay, McKellen broached the topic during a March 3rd published interview with BBC media editor Amal Rajan. Asked by the prolific journalist for his thoughts on the recent outrage against Ellen Mirren's casting as the lead in an upcoming biopic about former Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir, due to the actress's lack of Jewish heritage, the Magneto actor asserted, "There are two things. In the argument, there's a Gentile. Wait, is the argument that a Gentile cannot play a Jew, and is the argument therefore that a Jew cannot play a Gentile? Is the argument that a straight man cannot play a gay part, and if so, does it mean I can't play straight parts because I'm not allowed to explore fascinating subject of heterosexuality in Macbeth?" He added. "Surely not," McKellen concluded. "We're acting, we're pretending." There we go, there we go, there we go. You don't have to be Jewish to play a Jewish character. But hey, you can be black and play a white character. No outrage. If you have an outrage about that, then you're a racist. There's always double standards. Okay, I see. Okay, what's this? Okay, well, see if he remains consistent when whitewashing accusations come up. Ooh, Gandalf, you shall not pass, guys. You shall not pass. Okay, that's interesting news. I'm gonna put the light on because having this white screen to shine upon me, it's too much. And a dark room, it's just too much. Let's lighten up the place, make it somewhat equal so I won't get a migraine. And remember, watching a movie in the big screen in a dark room, I was terrified of getting a migraine. I was freaking terrified, okay? Because the last thing you want is a migraine when you're out having fun. Alrighty then. Okay, Netflix Vikings Valhalla race and gender swaps historical Norwegian ruler Jarl Alcorn. Now, here we go. Here's the thing. It's only white characters being swapped, you know? Swapped. It's only white characters. It's only white characters. Maybe a couple in between, or maybe a couple Asians, or I don't know, but in current age, it's mostly white characters being swapped into black characters. Look at this. So we have a Viking. You're playing a Viking. You're supposed to have like an accurate representation, right? Unless it's a made up fantasy, then it's totally fine. But uh, basically, uh, they also had a series called Anne Boleyn. Basically, it was about this historical figure. I don't know that much about her, but they race swapped her as well. She was a British woman, and they race swapped her. Native British, by the way, native. You know, the historically white and male Norwegian ruler has been both race. Okay, a Netflix exclusive sequel to history's original Viking series. Okay, okay, so basically, it's supposed to be somewhat historical, and there you go, race swapping it as well. If you took a black character and made him white, bruh, I don't want to see a BLM Part 3. Okay, I do not want to see that. Okay, I'm just saying it sucks that if you have a white character, they have to be destroyed. But if you dare think of swapping, or you dare point out the idea of hypocrisy, and tell people, hey, if I swap an Asian character white, wouldn't you be mad? They'll say yes, of course they'll be mad, you know? They just don't want white characters to have anything, which sucks, you know? There's so much of African stories they can tell, but they don't like Africa. Here's something to point out as well. Many of these people race swapping, they don't like Africa. There's so much of richness in this country. Sure, we have a lot of violence and whatever, but we have history, we have a past. We have a past, we have a future, we have a present. There's so much happening. Good, bad, but a lot of good stories. We have fictional stories. As someone who's South African, all my stories that's being written, the unique ideas and aspects of it and the unique characters will be part of South African stories from now moving forward. So I want to point that out as well. So not just me, but there's plenty people out there, uh, who have a lot of stories to tell. But but Hollywood and excuse me, and Netflix, they don't want to tell African stories. They don't like to tell African stories. They don't want to tell African stories. They don't want to. They don't care about Africa. Please understand. Many people in the West, not everyone, but many of them, they don't like Africa so much. They don't like Africa so much. They don't care that much about it. Even though we have a lot of resources, they don't care about that. And it sucks so much, because you can't be proud of anything that you have. When I'm working on my ideas, I know for a fact that the original characters, the original species I'm creating, it's gonna be part of African stories. You know, it's gonna be part of Africa. Obviously, you know, people don't care about that. Which is sad. Fine, Carolyn Anderson, it doesn't matter. Okay, I really look forward to seeing Benedict Cumberbatch, basically Smaug, playing Martin Luther King Jr. It's not gonna happen. You can't have a race swapped black character. You can have a white character race swapped, and if you dare point it out, then you're offensive. Okay. Vikings did travel extensively, but the only people they brought to Scandinavia were slaves from their conquest dying. Dying. What are they trying to say? Are they trying to say that uh you know are they trying to break their own narrative? Because they have their own narrative, by the way. Their narrative is all white people bad and white slave owners. But the truth is that that's their narrative, yes. But the truth is that a lot of races were slave owners, and by doing this, you kind of erasing your own narration of history. Okay, amazing. They absolutely fulfill the meme. We was kings, guys. We was kings. Remember that advert? Remember that advert from 2019 where it was about some Swedish something, I don't know, and or I don't know, Swedish or another country, but uh there was there was this one person who said we was kings. Did he say that, or did he say uh we was Vikings? Or okay, whatever. Pure revolutionist history. It's sad. It really is sad. You cannot do the other way around because you have been murdered by now. Okay, maybe not murdered, but crucified on Twitter. The Walt Disney Company promises to create more LGBT. Okay, I read that. I read that. I just watched Enchanto. That was a good movie. That was a really good movie. That was so good. I just don't get why Disney cares so much about stuff like this. Just remember, just remember, when it comes to China, they will not put any of these characters out there. They'll make these characters so insignificant they can easily remove them for China. Simple as that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, okay? Okay. So the Batman Zoe Kravitz claim romantic choice. Okay, I read that. Okay, we only have we have 6 articles. That's good. I just want to say that hey, this has been a fun adventure. It's kind of fun not to focus on all the issues. I don't go out that much. Many of you may not know this, but I don't go out that much. I don't. I really don't. So for me, having even a Starbucks is like, it's amazing. I feel so privileged. I feel so privileged. I can't criticize this, however. It has a paper straw. I don't like paper straws, especially if you're drinking thick milkshake. But since this is very thin, hey, I'm fine with that. Okay. Okay. So at the end of the day, I can just say, working with a major corporation and putting out your ideas, putting out your risque ideas, the anti-woke ideas that that's going to provoke SJWs, which is basically a lot of things. I think it's wrong. If you want to tell your own stories, go ahead and tell. Please, I beg you. With these major companies, it sucks. It really does suck. You're not going to get anything you achieve. People are going to only hire based on race. It sucks. It really does suck. Okay. Anything else in the news department? Okay. So, it sucks. Netflix changing everything. Yeah, it sucks. Gandalf speaking out against uh basically the idea of, oh, just because you're gay, you must only play gay roles. That sucks. That's stupid. Okay, that's stupid. You're an actor. You're an actor, okay? And this guy is an old guy. He knows his stuff. The guy knows his stuff, okay? He knows his stuff. Okay. It knows it. It knows it. It knows it. So it's like most of the old ones. Not every old actor or actress, but some old actors and actresses. They are very, very normal, I guess. Gandalf, you shall not pass. Okay. 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 At the end of the day, I just want to say it's kind of crazy how today was a very strange day for me because I don't go out that often, and here we are. When it comes to my issue with stuff like this, I don't like it. I really don't. If you're doing something historical, and they race swap it, and they expect you to eat it up. And then if you don't eat it up, you are racist. Simple as that. Okay, you can't do the opposite because they will kill you. Not literally, but figuratively online. Um, I have heard that they are making a One Piece live action. This was last year. We heard about this. They did get the casting very right, but then if you don't know, there were a couple of writers, or one writer or producer or whatever he was, one writer and producer that was comparing characters from One Piece to political figures like Orange Man and Kamala Harris. So that's kind of crazy, isn't it? I do fear for the writing. No matter how perfect the cast is, you need to understand that. You need to understand that uh, the writers, or maybe one of the writers, is politically motivated. When I write my characters, I have my own version of politics. No left versus right nonsense, but I have politicians. I have like made up characters, made up politicians, and stuff like that. I have stuff like that. Well, not politicians, kings and queens, basically. I don't compare them to the real world. I don't do that. I can never do that because that's so stupid and idiotic. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. Okay? Throughout my life of writing characters, I cannot compare my characters to real world figures because it just can't happen. It just doesn't make any sense. Sure, you can get inspiration from people in your life, the way people do things and stuff, but they cannot be the exact representation of the character. When I create my kings and queens, they have nothing to do with the real world politics. They have nothing, zero to do with real world politics. Nothing at all. So at the end of the day, it's like, hey, this is crazy, isn't it? You know, like people always want to shove their own personal political views on a story just because they see, oh, character from the real world kind of correlates to character in this made up fantasy. Even though it wasn't intentional, the characters just supposedly just match out by random choice, by random chance. And what people will do is, oh, let's just connect the dots together, and that's what's gonna happen with the live action One Piece. It is gonna be political. It is gonna be political. It is gonna be political. One of the writers was talking about, as I said, comparing characters and wanting to make One Piece political. Yes, One Piece is political, but in its own way. It uses made up politics. It's in a fantasy world, pirates and all that type of stuff. It's a fantasy world. And some people can't get that. They immediately see Orange Man. They immediately see Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, but how is that possible? How is that possible? When you look in a fantasy world and you immediately want to throw your connect the dots. No, you don't play join the dots with fantasy. I do fear because that writer is gonna bring down that series. It's gonna bring down that One Piece live action series. No matter how perfect the cast is, it's gonna have a lot of crazy things written in. And okay, let me tell you what's gonna happen. One, people are gonna get leaks that it's gonna be woke. Two, then there's gonna be a reaction to people calling it woke when even though the show hasn't been fully released yet. And then the show gets a proper trailer, people like it and whatever, and then the show's out, officially out, people watch it, they don't like it, it sucks, and then all of a sudden they say, okay, the show sucked. It's like we can smell it a mile away. We can smell the wokeness a mile away, okay? We can smell it. We don't have bad noses, we have good noses. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is One Piece live action is going to be a woke fest. The writer wants to connect the dots to real world politics. Yeah, that's what he wants to do because that's all he cares about. I'm sure there's other writers as well, but still, I don't care. The fact that one writer was freaking dancing about it, so happy that he's talking about how One Piece, is so political, and it's like that's all they care about. They want to shove their politics everywhere they see fit. Just because One Piece has made up politics doesn't mean it's a canvas for your own political agendas. Simple as that. Anyways, I know I'm yelling a lot. It's like 34 minutes in. I just want to get a nice rest. Oh, I might sleep early today. After this, I'm gonna watch Michael Knowles. It's still like, what time is it? It's it's almost after 6. Michael Knowles starts around 7 or 5 past 7. Sometimes he's late, but still. I can be here for a couple of hours. I don't mind. But I'm just saying, I do have a problem with One Piece getting woke, the live action version, because it's not going to be so perfect to its counterparts, the original. Trying to connect the dots about the wall or China or testing 1, 2, 3. I love Rocky. I love Rocky. Rocky is such a good series. I watched 5 movies. I know there's two after, but I don't know. The other two were made like in the 2000s and the 2010s. So those 2 decades. I'm not a fan of those decades. I don't know if Rocky, if those two Rocky movies will hold out. But Rocky 1 to 5 is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Um, I loved it, Rocky. I think I should rewatch it. I think I should try and rewatch it one of the days when I'm not busy. I have a lot of work to do. Uh, but wow, it was that amazing. The fight scenes were amazing. Riddler stumps Batman with question. What is a woman? Okay, I want to read this. I want to read this. I want to read this. Okay, I want to read this. Okay. People who work at DC Comics, many of them won't even know the answer to this. Gotham City, Edward Nygma, commonly known as the Riddler, has once again taken multiple hostages and hidden them in a secret location that Batman can find if he solves this intricate riddle. Unfortunately for Batman, the Riddler has him stumped by asking the most impossible question of all: what is a woman? Riddler, stop playing games and tell me, where are they? Growled Batman. Said the Riddler, wagging his finger. No, not There we go, said the Riddler, wagging his finger and appearing on a nearby screen. You'll never see them again unless you answer my diabolical question. My most diabolical question yet. What is a woman? Someone who menstruates. Wrong, Batman. You just reduce a woman down to her reproductive organs. What if she can't menstruate or reproduce? Is she still a woman? Then Bats, obviously still a woman, retorted Batman, growing more frustrated. Fine, it's a trick question. What it means to be a woman is different for each woman, and for them to decide, oh, tisk, 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 my dear Batman, you just use the word as part of its own definition, which failed to define the word, said the Riddler. Tick tock, Batman. You don't have that much time left. All right. A woman is an adult human female based on genetics. That's correct, but not very inclusive. Congratulations, transphobe. You just saved the hostages and got yourself cancelled all at the same time. Wahahaha, cackled the Riddler. The Riddler then hacked into Gotham's newsfeed and. Oh my gosh. If this, I can actually imagine this happening, Uh, I can imagine. I can imagine. The Riddler then hacked into Gotham's newsfeed and broadcasted. I can't say it with a straight face. I'm sorry, I can't say it. I know you can't see me right now, but I'm trying to not to laugh. And and broadcasted the hostages walking away unarmed, followed by a recording of Batman's hateful, narrow-minded statement defining women. If this was a real thing, like if this actually happened, let's just say this was real. Let's just say the Riddler was real and Batman was real, in the real world. Basically, people would not give a crap about the hostages or Riddler, what he just done. People will be more offended with Batman. People will say, I know Riddler did a bad thing, but come on, Batman, do better. People would say that, Okay, defining. Gotham City Police Department immediately issued a warrant for Batman's arrest. Oh my gosh. Like I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because this could happen. This is why I will never move to UK, because UK this actually happened. A poor woman got arrested in front of her children for calling someone a man on Twitter, and this was very disgraceful. This was like back in 2019. It was so crazy that this happened, and you pointed out people just don't care, with orders to shoot the transphobic bigot on sight. Dang, Batman. Free the homie, guys. Free the homie, Batman. But dang, like that is true, by the way. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in America or in other countries. Um, Uyghurs in Chinese concentration camps fly Ukrainian flag, so people will start caring about them. That makes sense because no one gives a fuck about them besides normal people, I guess. Because you need to understand, when people talk about this, it's immediately shunned. People barely talk about this. Now, since Ukraine is a big thing, everyone's blaming Russia for everything. Putting a flag like this, people will recognize you, People will give you some love, I guess. Which is sad because they've been suffering for years and people barely care. People barely put them on trending. Husband promises he will someday do something with a cool piece of wood he had in garage. Oh wow. This is like my father. My father brought like a lot of items in our house. It brought a lot of pieces of wood, a large plank of wood. Okay. Austin, Texas. Local husband Alexander Woodman surprised his wife Barbara with a lunch date on Friday in which he pledged his continued love for her, and also promised to someday do something with that cool piece of wood he's had in the garage for the last 10 years. Now, like back in the day, like 3 or 4 years ago, my father bought a piece of wood, a large piece of wood. We still have it till this day. We don't know what to do with it. Okay, this was a fun day. Okay. So at the end of the day, this was a very, very strange day, I would say. Okay, I have to go now. I'm gonna make this live stream a bit short. Anyways, I have a bit left over here to drink. It's good. The chocolate is good. I don't like coffee. I'll never drink coffee. I like it. It's very ice. Tastes like chocolate. It's amazing. Thanks so much for watching, and sorry for the very late live stream. I never really wanted to do such a late live stream, but hey, there it is. Have an amazing day. And I'm sorry about my voice. You see, I never warm it up.